Welcome back to Enchanted Learning. It's me Benasar Khalid. Are you preparing well for your studies? You are not late. So today, let us move to the next topic. Before that, please listen to this quote. Man needs difficulties in life because they are very necessary for enjoying success in your life. Man needs difficulties in his life because they are necessary to enjoy success in life. That means, without difficulties, you will not be able to enjoy your success or attain your success. It's a power you get to overcome these difficulties, and that power leads you to success. So without difficulties, you can't be able to achieve success. So all these difficulties will lead you to a successful life. So shall we move to the next topic? That is fundamental duties. So fundamental duties. That is, the original constitution contained only fundamental rights and not the fundamental duties. But later, in 1976, the fundamental duties of citizens were added to the constitution as per the 42nd Amendment. So, original constitution contained only fundamental rights and not fundamental duties. But later, 1976, as per the 42nd Amendment, fundamental duties were introduced to the constitution. And the fundamental duties, the idea of fundamental duties was taken from USSR or Russia. The fundamental duties are introduced in the Constitution in Part 4A. Part 4A and Article 51A. So, Indian Constitution, fundamental duties are arranged in Part 4A or Article 51A. Here, you may know that the fundamental duties were adopted from USSR. The idea of fundamental duties were also adopted from USSR. And at the beginning, the fundamental duties were not present in the Indian Constitution. Later, as per the 42nd Amendment of 1976, fundamental duties were introduced into Indian Constitution. And a committee which recommended the introduction of fundamental duties in Constitution was Swaransingh Committee. So the Swaransingh Committee, that is in 1976, the Congress Party set up the Swaransingh Committee to make recommendations about fundamental duties. So in 1976, you have learned as per 42nd Amendment Act, fundamental duties were introduced in the Indian Constitution, and the committee which recommended for the introduction of fundamental duties was Swaransingh Committee. Then at first, only 10 fundamental duties were introduced. Only 10 fundamental duties were present at first. Later, 11th fundamental duty was added to Indian Constitution as per 86th Amendment Act of 2002. So in 2002, as per the 86th Amendment Act, 11th fundamental duty was added to Indian Constitution. So in the beginning, only 10 fundamental duties were there, and 11th fundamental duty was introduced in Indian Constitution as per the 86th Amendment Act of 2002. So the fundamental duties are inserted in the Indian Constitution by the 42nd Amendment of 1976, and these are contained in Part 4 of Article 51A. So once more, fundamental duties were taken from USSR Constitution, and at first the Constitution had only fundamental rights and there were no fundamental duties. Later, as per the Amendment Act of 42nd Amendment Act of 1976, fundamental duties were introduced in Indian Constitution. And the committee which recommended for the fundamental duties was Swaransingh Committee. And fundamental duties was introduced in Indian Constitution in Part 4A and Article 51A. So, as per the 42nd Amendment, which the Part 4A and 51A were inserted to Indian Constitution. And then, now the number of fundamental duties in Indian Constitution is 11. And the 11th fundamental duty was introduced inserted in Indian Constitution as per the 86th Amendment Act of 2002. So that is what we have discussed. Then the fundamental duties are not non-justifiable. That means they are not enforceable by law. They are not justifiable. They are not enforceable by law. Now, according to Article 51A, it is a duty of every citizen to perform such and such duties. We shall look upon to it one by one. That is, first one, to abide by the Constitution and respect its ideals and institutions, the national flag and national anthem. Here, according to Article 51A, these are the fundamental duties. These are duties every citizen of India should perform. First one, to abide by the Constitution. That means to obey the Constitution and to respect its ideals and institutions. That means its national flag and as well as national anthem. So, first fundamental duty of a citizen, of an Indian citizen, is to abide by the Constitution, to obey the Constitution, as well as to respect its ideals, as well as institutions, its national anthem, national flag, etc. Second duty, that is to cherish and follow the noble ideals that inspire the national struggle for freedom. That means to cherish and follow the noble ideals. That means those ideals of those famous personalities who inspired the national struggle for freedom. Those personalities who struggled for Indian freedom. You have to. It is a responsibility. It's a duty of every citizen to cherish and follow the ideals of those noble persons who struggled for the independence for the freedom of India. That means to cherish and follow the noble ideals that inspire the national struggle for freedom. The third one, to uphold and protect the sovereignty, unity and integrity of India. To uphold as well as to protect the sovereignty, unity and integrity of India. It's a duty of every citizen, Indian citizen, to uphold as well as to protect the unity, integrity and sovereignty of India. The fourth one, to defend the country and render national service when called upon to do so. So, it is a duty of every citizen to defend the country as well as to render national service when called upon to do so. So, whenever the emergency occurs, it's a duty of every citizen, Indian citizen, to provide national service as well as to defend the country. Next one, to promote harmony and the spirit of common brotherhood amongst all the people of India, transcending religious, linguistic and regional or sexual diversities, and to renounce practices derogatory to the dignity of women. So the next duty of fundamental duty of every Indian citizen is to promote harmony and spirit of common brotherhood among all the people of India. Irrespective of the religion, language, as well as regional or sexual diversities, it is a duty of every citizen to promote harmony and spirit of common brotherhood among all the people of India. And also to renounce the practices that are affecting the dignity of women. And to renounce the practices affecting the dignity of women. So these are the duties. Also, these are the duties that every Indian citizen should perform to promote as harmony and spirit of common brotherhood among people of India, irrespective of the religion, language, or regional or sexual diversities, and also to renounce practices affecting the dignity of women. Next, fundamental duty, that means to value and preserve the rich heritage of country's composite culture. So, another duty of Indian citizen is to value as well as preserve the rich heritage of country's composite culture. Our culture, Indian culture is a composite one. So, every citizen of India has to value it as well as to preserve the rich heritage of the country's composite culture. Next one, to protect and improve the natural environment, including forests, lakes, rivers, and wildlife, and to have compassion for living creatures. Next one, it's a duty of every citizen of India to protect and improve the natural environment. That means forests, lake, water, wildlife, etc. And you have to be compassion for living creatures. Next fundamental duty is to develop scientific temper, humanism, and spirit of enquiry and reform. That is to develop scientific temper. You have to develop, every citizen of India it is a duty of every citizen to develop scientific temper or scientific interest, humanism, as well as spirit of enquiry and reforms. Next one, it's a duty of every Indian citizen to safeguard public property as well as abjure violence. To safeguard public property as well as to abjure violence means you should avoid violence. It is every duty of every citizen to avoid violence. You should safeguard your public property and should avoid violence. To strive towards excellence in all spheres of individual and collective activity so that nation constantly rises to higher levels of endeavor and achievement. So, it is a duty of every citizen to strive towards excellence in all spheres of individual and collective activity. So, as a result, the nation rises to higher levels of endeavor and achievement. So, it is a duty of every citizen to strive towards excellence in all spheres of individual and collective activity. So, thus nations constantly rise to higher levels of achievement. Next, to provide opportunities for education to its child or ward between the age of 6 and 14 years. So, that is the last 11th fundamental duty which is added or inserted to the Indian Constitution as per the 86th Amendment Act of 2002. That is to provide, this is every citizen of Indian citizens' fundamental duty is to provide opportunity for education to his child or ward between 6 and 14 years of age. That's the 11th fundamental duty. So these duties are to be performed by every Indian citizen. So once more, according to Article 51A, it's a duty of every citizen of India to abide by the Constitution and to respect its ideals and institutions, the national flag and national anthem. And second one, to cherish and follow the noble ideals that inspire the national struggle for freedom. And third one, to uphold and protect the sovereignty, unity and integrity of nation. Fourth one, to defend the country as well as to render national service when called upon to do so. And the fifth one, to promote harmony and spirit of common brotherhood among the people of India, irrespective of religion, language, regional or sexual diversities, as well as to renounce practices those practices that is harming or affecting the dignity of women. Then to value and preserve the rich heritage and culture of the country. To protect and improve the natural environment including wildlife and having compassion for living creatures. To develop scientific temper, humanism and spirit of inquiry as well as reform. And next one, to safeguard public property as well as to avoid violence. To strive towards excellence in all spheres of individuals and collective activity. To strive towards excellence in all spheres. It means it's a duty of every citizen to participate in all spheres of individual as well as collective activity, thus making the nation to a higher level of achievement or endeavor. And 11th one, to provide opportunity to children, provide the opportunity of education to children or what between the age of 6 and 6 to 14 years. That is the 11th fundamental duty. To provide opportunities for education to his child or what between 6 and 14 years. And that particular duty, fundamental duty, was added to Indian Constitution as per the 86th Amendment Act of 2002. So, we have completed the topic fundamental duties. Are you clear with the topic? So, in this class, we studied about the fundamental duties of every Indian citizen. So, now it's your duty to complete the studies. Hope you have understood all the topic. If you have any doubts, please comment. If this class is interesting or helpful, please do subscribe my channel, share. Please continue watching. Thank you.